Yeah. What happened when you got out? Did you did you feel kind of like a lot of? Oh, you went back for another tour of duty.
I went back after I was shot three. I got hit 3 times. I went back, and they didn't let me stay the full time. They sent me home. They said I was nuts. So when I came home, my wife was already with another man. My son was being raised by my mother-in-law. My mom and dad didn't want me. They said I was nuts. So I figured, what am I going to do to get money? Right away, I thought, well, I'll go to school, get some money, right? And then start dealing, do something, rob somebody. So I went to school. I ended up closing the school. I ended up closing the school. I ended up opening a free college on Saturdays. I ended up helping the Brown Berets open up a free clinic. I was with them when they took a town. I marched them into the town up north. I mean, they would say, we're going to do something. I did it. When the police set me up to kill me, one of the Brown Berets was a cop, and he picked us up, me and a friend of mine, and he had guns in the car. And I was laughing, looking, so what are you going to do with these guns, dummy? You know. And he said, we're going to college. We weren't acting like gangsters. We weren't robbing, we weren't dealing. We're going to school, getting school money, getting money from the VA, And he goes, no, we're going to go to Safeway, and I want you to shoot out the windows. And I started laughing. I said, what? And it was at night. So I said, you know what? Went and bought some milk, emptied it, filled it up with gas, put a rag in it, went to Safeways. I threw the bottle on the window, blew up, boom, ran, left. They caught me a few blocks away, beat me up, put me in jail. But the cop told me, he said, if it wasn't for the Bradshaw bus, we were going to kill you. But the bus blocked. And I thought about it. I said, they were there before me. So if I would have shot that gun, they would have killed me. He said, he was shooting at us. That cop set me up. He was a hero and all that because he set up a lot of people. But that's just the way. I did it. Why? Because the devil had me. I had made an agreement with the devil a long time ago until Jesus Christ broke that curse. I was in a group, and we were doing, we were going out, people that were possessed, we'd go pray for them. You'd see the spirits leave them. And so the lady told me, we want you to be with us, Al. God has called you. I said, yeah, okay. I was already in the church. And she prayed for me, and this thing left me. It screamed and left. And she said, we break that curse. That pact you made with the devil. I never told no one. And she knew.
But that was later?
Way when I was already trying to, God had forgiven me all my nonsense.
So that's already after you're saved?
Yes.
So, how did the Mongols come about?
The grand jury had just indicted me. And they were looking for me again. I had got out on bail. They were looking for me. And so a friend of mine at that time had a store. And he says, man, look, I sell waterbeds. In the back room, you could live there. So I used to make leather goods for them. And we'd sell purses, their headbands, wallets, all that. And plus posters, it was one of those. And these guys were getting together. They were going to join a club. So one day they asked me, they said, why don't you come with us, Al? Meet these guys. Because I was in pretty good shape. So I said, yeah, let's go, man. I didn't want to go because they were looking for me. But I went. And when we went there, this guy made a racist remark and I told my friend, you know what, man, we ain't gonna join it. And they went and sent for this big old guy. I beat this guy before he got off his bike. He didn't have a chance. And then after he went in, them guys said, oh, we're gonna give you our patch. So you guys, I said, we don't want it. We're gonna start our own club. And that's what we did. And the reason they got the name Mongols, it's because they had conquered the known parts of the world at one time. So in black and white is because of the sheriff's cars. Black and white. And we used to fight with them all the time. And that's how we started in '69. I had just come home. I was nuts. I didn't know. The sad part, I didn't know I was nuts. But everybody else did.
How do you mean? In what way do you feel like?
What do you mean? In what way was I nuts?
Yeah.
I would do things. You'd say, hey man, let's rob that guy. I'd rob him. Let's beat him up. I'd beat him. Let's stab him. I'd stab him. We're gonna do this over here. Let's do it. When in East LA, when we were marching the first time down Whittier Boulevard, and we went to the park. They have a park there, Laguna Park. All the police were there, and I was carrying a sign with a 2x4. I took that sign off and started fighting the police with a 2x4. Well, a cop that was a highway patrol that knew me came, parked his bike right there, came when I was fighting. He goes, man, they're gonna kill you, Al. Run. So I got to the other side. I got away. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't know it was because I had made that pact with the devil that I didn't feel things like a normal person. And then using heroin, you really don't feel nothing. It's just something inside of you that you can't control. Once you take one step to do it, there's no turning back. There's no turning back.
So you told me you once whipped a guy with a chain.
I took half of his face off. In a bar. We were in one bar, we went to another bar, and we started fighting. He was a bartender. Before he could get the bat or gun, whatever he's going to get, I used to wear a chain around my waist. A primary chain. It's a motorcycle chain. And it had a big buckle. And I just got it and started hitting him in the face.
What do you feel now when you think about those stories?
I don't feel anything. What I feel, to be honest, is grateful that God has forgiven me. Because those people, they're never going to forgive me. All those people we hurt, they're never going to forgive me unless they become real Christians. But I know one thing, God has forgiven me. Yesterday I did about 15 baptisms. What a difference to what I was, what God has made me. What a difference. I've traveled all over the United States. I used to go into all the prisons. I've been to death row in Texas. I've been to India. Not because I'm cute, not because I'm smart, because nobody's ever said I was smart, but because of my Lord and Master, Jesus Christ, has given me a platform of forgiveness. And that's what it is. You gotta forgive. But a lot of people ain't gonna forgive you. They'll say, that guy hurt this or he did. I remember one time this guy owed money and we went in his house in Vegas and I had two guys with me. And I was talking to him kind of like in his bedroom. Door was open and you could see the two guys sitting on the couch. And he had this box. He was a black guy. And he had this jewelry box full of gold and diamonds. And he owed a lot of money. And I looked and he had it open and he reached over and closed it and put towards him, and I started laughing. I said, "You think I came for that bullshit?" I said, "Brother, you're gonna pay now or when you come back." And he said, "Come back? Where am I going?" "To the hospital. Because those guys are gonna help me. We're gonna beat you. And if anybody comes, woman, child, we're gonna beat them too. And let them know why they're getting beat. Because you owe money." Man, he called up his sister. Money he owed, he went and bought himself a new Mercedes. His sister brought it. I told my friend, "Take it." And I stayed there till this guy, I stayed there till they left, and I told him, "If you call the cops," I said, "you might get me, you might get the guy driving, but we'll be back. We'll be back." You know, people don't realize what's really going on in the world. And now, it's even worse. Real worse. The government said weed is legal. I remember when they said alcohol was legal. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's sociable. Now weed. You can smoke weed. Someplace, and pills are legal. All you gotta do is pay $5, $10, get some kind of rat insurance, and you can get as high as you want for free. Higher than the law allows. Because they're gonna write you scripts. What's wrong? "I could barely walk. It's my bag." It's my bag. Oh man, it takes some.
Is it okay? I'm going to go to the market with Tina real quick.
Okay.
And I'll be back.
Yeah. Could you hold it for a minute?
Oh, sure.
I